So I represent LoEstro Advisors. We are an education-focused investment banking and consulting firm. We are a young firm. We have been in business for less than 5 years. And in this 5 years that we have existed, we have done some incredible amount of work both on the banking and consulting side. So look at the banking side, we would have raised capital worth more than $1 billion for our clients. And this is essentially everything in education. So right from preschools to K-12 schools, test prep, higher ed businesses, and edtech businesses as well. I'm happy to see one of our clients is also a sponsor for this GUVI. I think we worked with them way back in 2022 where we partnered with HCL or we brought GUVI in partnership with HCL as well. So yeah, more than $1 billion worth of capital raise. We have advised more than 100 plus clients on their strategy, growth, efficiency, compliances, and a whole bunch of stuff as well. We have worked with some of the marquee names in industry. If you look at on higher ed, we have worked with ISB, we have worked with Flame University, we work with the Watson University in Hyderabad. Similarly, on the higher ed, edtech side, like I said, we have worked with GUVI, we have worked with Physics Wala, we have worked with iNeuron. And on K-12, we have worked with some of the largest brands in the country, including Oak Ridge, Chirek, Heritage Schools, and the likes, right? Obviously, the kind of work that we have done, we have also got significantly recognized by the industry. So we're like ranked amongst the best financial and consulting advisors in the country right now. So that's briefly about us. Some of the market transactions that we have done are kind of highlighted here. If you look at it in the K-12 side, Oak Ridge, which is one of the chains of 5 schools in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mohali, we partnered with a global K-12 chain, and that became a part of the global K-12 chain. This happened way back in 2019. More recently, I think on the higher ed side, we have raised money for a higher ed institution called VVIT. This is a college based out of Guntur. And they have done a sale and leaseback transaction to raise capital for their growth and expansion as well. On edtech businesses, GUVI is one of our clients. We partnered with HCL for that particular transactions. And then iNeuron, which happens to be again a skilling company on the higher ed side, we had worked with them on their partnership with Physics Wala as well. We work with more than 500 investors in India and globally. These are 3 different categories. They are venture capital funds, they are private equity firms, and then there are strategic firms which are already into education but are looking to expand and grow their portfolio as well. Specifically on the higher ed side, I think a few of the clients and the work that we have done, you just want to highlight here. So working with the Pharmacity team to set up a life sciences university right now in Hyderabad. So that work is going on. That's something that we're working with. We worked with Flame University to set up their direction for Flame 3.0. This is the next version of Flame. There is the college, the university has been around for more than a decade, and they're trying to reinvent themselves, and we are helping them in that process as well. Like I said, we've worked with a college called VVIT, which is now converting into a university as well. We've worked with them to raise almost 200 crores of capital for their growth and expansion as well. We have worked with ISB on a multiple number of projects. This includes the launch of their Mohali campus. This includes launch of a lot of new age programs, including YLP, which is the Young Leaders Program, the Family Business Programs, and all of that as such. And currently, we're also working with a large size university in Hyderabad for their growth expansion and the likes as well. We also kind of contribute back to the community by publishing a lot of research reports and articles in the space, which is typically very helpful for promoters and management of higher education institutions. One of the things that I want to highlight is that we have put together a book called Don't Build Your University Brand Without Us. This is essentially a marketing manual for all higher education institutions on how to kind of go about making your brand out there in the public, making students like your brand and then actually come out and join. So this is an interesting book that we have written, and then there are a bunch of industry reports which also we have published in the space. So this is part 1 of my presentation, which basically was about us. The second part is essentially I've taken 3 takeaways from the book that we have published and thought I'll bring it out for the audience here, which we thought will be relevant as well. The first one that the book talks about is making your product or the offering relevant, right? And what do you mean by that? So the way we think about it is, on the one side you have the students, and on the other side, as a higher education institution, you also have the companies who hire these students after the program gets done. What we have noticed is that there is a lot of dynamic changes which have been happening on both these sides. On the student side, you have the Gen Zs and the millennials coming up, and their way of learning, their expectation on learning, the kind of flexibility that they desire is very, very different from, let's say, the batches which were 10 years back, right? So the need and the demands of these students are changing completely. On the other hand, if you look at the placement, the companies that recruit these students, they have also evolved over a period of time. I mean, they have said, most of these guys are now saying that degrees are not important for them. What's important for them is the skill set that is required for these kids to perform in the job, right? And those skill sets are dynamic itself, right? Every 6 months, 1 year, you see a new technology coming up, and students and professionals need to be up to it to kind of deliver on the job that is there. So this dynamic nature of the environment that these institutes are currently operate in, they need to rediscover their offering on a constant basis. I think a lot of it is also driven by what edtech companies are trying to do right now. More and more edtech companies are coming up with short duration programs, with innovative content which is there, with innovative blended ways of learning. So as a higher education institution, one needs to really think about the dynamic ecosystem that we exist in, and then adopt to this ecosystem to kind of deliver to the needs of the market which is there. So that's one thing which is very, very prominently coming out as a trend. The second thing which we talk about in the book as well is, how do you catch your target audience at a much younger age, right? Most of these institutions go out and market at a time when the student or the applicant is making a decision. We have seen that institutes which have engaged with students much before have been able to build a much stronger brand. And this is becoming now a trend even with top global institutes as well. So if you look at HBS, which used to hire students or recruit students which are more than 5 years of experience, have launched a program called HBS 2+2, where they actually take students into their program right out of the college, give them a 2-year break and let them join in later. If you look at some of the global universities, they conduct summer camps and entrepreneurship camps for college students right when they are, school students right when they are at school as well. So the sooner though you engage with the students, the sooner you kind of get your brand out there amongst the target audience that is there, the receptiveness when they actually make a decision increases significantly. And that's the catch them young philosophy that we're talking about. The third thing is, I think the world is moving towards personalized marketing. The needs, the desire, the expectations of every customer that you have or every student that you have is changing. Why are they doing an upskilling or why are they doing a higher education or enrolling into a higher education institution? That's changing. What kind of media they consume, that's changing. What kind of communication which works for them, that's changing. So as an institute, as an organization, one needs to kind of think about how can you personalize your communication, your awareness mechanisms, your campaigns, your selling philosophy to make it extremely personalized throughout that funnel of awareness, interest, desire, and action. And if you do that, I think it can actually result into a lot of benefits. So those are the 3 takeaways. Just to kind of summarize, the first one being make your offering relevant for the target audience that you're getting to. Second is to catch them young. And third, personalize your marketing for the consumer. And I think there is enough amount of data and literature which shows that if you do that, it can actually reap huge benefits. So that's all I had, guys. Thank you for your time.